Blessings, my friends. I'm Dr. Mandell. Today, we're talking about one of the most popular supplements on the planet, magnesium glycinate, and a huge mistake many people make that can actually prevent you from getting the amazing benefits this mineral offers. If you're taking magnesium and not feeling better, stick with me because this may change everything. Most people who take magnesium glycinate believe they're doing something profoundly good for their body, something that will help them sleep deeper, calm the mind, relax tense muscles, and restore balance to the nervous system. Yet millions are unknowingly making a hidden mistake that silently prevents this powerful mineral from working at all. And the shocking truth is that many people who swallow magnesium daily may be absorbing only a fraction of what they think, leaving their bodies running on empty while believing they are fully nourished. Magnesium is responsible for more than 300 biochemical reactions that help regulate energy production, nerve function, blood pressure, and even DNA repair. But the body cannot benefit from what it cannot absorb. Scientists call this the bioavailability problem, and in the case of magnesium supplements, the problem is far bigger than most people realize. The reason is simple: the moment magnesium enters your digestive system, it must fight for survival against the foods and drinks you pair it with. And one of the most aggressive competitors is calcium. Research shows that calcium and magnesium use the same transport channels in your intestine, each trying to funnel through the same narrow doorway. It's a biochemical traffic jam. When large amounts of calcium-rich foods sit in your stomach, milk, yogurt, cheese, fortified cereals, the magnesium you just swallowed gets pushed aside, forced to wait, and often excreted before it ever reaches your bloodstream. In clinical trials reviewing mineral absorption, scientists consistently found that high calcium meals can reduce magnesium uptake significantly, leaving the individual believing they took a supplement when in reality the body barely received anything at all. But that's only the beginning of the sabotage. Caffeine enters the story like a thief in the night. Coffee, tea, and certain energy drinks act as diuretics, speeding up the rate at which the kidneys flush water, and with it, vital electrolytes including magnesium. One study published in the Journal of Human Nutrition found that even moderate caffeine consumption increased urinary magnesium loss, meaning that when people take magnesium glycinate with their morning coffee, the body loses mineral faster than it can use it. So the supplement you hope would calm your nerves may actually be slipping away almost as quickly as you swallow it. And still, the plot thickens. High fiber foods, whole grains, legumes, nuts, seeds, foods that are healthy and essential in many diets contain something called phytates. Phytates bind to minerals like magnesium, forming complexes the body cannot absorb. Scientists refer to these as chelation reactions, and once magnesium is bound, it's gone, passing through the digestive system unused. This means that taking magnesium with a fiber-packed breakfast, a bowl of oatmeal, or a handful of nuts may unintentionally reduce the very benefits people are seeking. The mistake is invisible, the consequences are not. Without enough absorbable magnesium, the body signals distress in subtle ways: restless sleep, muscle tightness, low energy, difficulty relaxing, heart rhythm fluctuation, or a feeling of internal tension that never fully resolves. People often assume these symptoms arise because they need more magnesium, so they increase their supplement dosage, unaware that the real issue is not the amount they take, but the way they take it. In fact, studies from the National Institutes of Health highlight that up to half of adults may still be deficient or insufficient in magnesium despite the widespread use of supplements. This disconnect is startling, and researchers believe absorption interference is a major culprit. And if calcium, caffeine, and phytates weren't enough, antacids and acid-reducing medications add yet another layer of complication. Many forms of magnesium depend on adequate stomach acidity to dissolve efficiently. When acidity is reduced, either through medication or digestive issues, the mineral doesn't break down properly, meaning it cannot move into the bloodstream where it's needed. Scientists have documented this effect for years, especially in individuals who routinely use acid-blocking drugs. The body needs magnesium, yet modern habits create an environment where magnesium simply cannot thrive. Imagine spending money, time, and hope on a supplement that never reaches its full potential. Imagine believing your health challenges are worsening when in reality your body is trying to function with an empty fuel tank. And the most unsettling part, most people never connect these dots. They blame themselves, their age, their stress, or even the supplement brand, never realizing that the timing of a glass of milk or a cup of coffee could be the factor standing between deficiency and balance. But this story is not one of fear, it is one of awakening. When people learn how easily magnesium absorption is disrupted, they often experience a moment of clarity, a moment when their previous frustrations finally make sense. They understand why sleepless nights persisted despite taking magnesium, why their muscles remained tense, why stress continued to overwhelm. They were not doing anything wrong. They simply weren't giving their body a fair chance to use what it was being offered. The beauty of the human body is that it wants to heal. It wants to restore balance. It wants to use magnesium to calm the nervous system, regulate the heartbeat, maintain bone strength, support metabolic enzymes, and stabilize mood. But it needs the right environment to do so. When magnesium glycinate is taken without competing minerals, without caffeine interference, without phytate binding, and without acid-blocking disruptions, its absorption potential skyrockets. And when that happens, people often feel as though a switch has been flipped, sleep deepens, muscles relax, thoughts quiet, stress softens, energy stabilizes. These changes aren't magic. Their biology finally allowed to function as it was designed. And this is why understanding the hidden mistakes around magnesium glycinate matters. Because for countless people, it's not that magnesium failed them. It's that they were never given the knowledge to let magnesium succeed. Timing is everything, and when it comes to magnesium glycinate, the timing of that small capsule can determine whether it becomes one of the most powerful allies for your body or just another pill that passes through unnoticed. Most people think supplements work the moment they're swallowed, but the truth is far more complex, far more delicate, and far more dependent on the internal rhythms of the human body than most could ever imagine. Scientific research has revealed that minerals do not operate on a simple take and absorb schedule. The body has cycles, windows when transport proteins are active, when digestive enzymes peak, and when the gut lining becomes more or less permeable. Magnesium, one of the most essential minerals for life, relies heavily on these windows. Miss them and absorption plummets, align with them, and the mineral enters the bloodstream with extraordinary efficiency. That is why timing can make or break your magnesium results. For millions of people, magnesium is taken at random, sometimes with meals, sometimes after coffee, sometimes right before grabbing a snack, and sometimes moments before lying down. But studies show that the body's electrolyte transport systems are highly sensitive to what else is happening in the digestive tract at that exact moment. When you take magnesium glycinate right before or after a heavy meal, your gut is flooded with fats, proteins, and competing minerals. This slows gastric emptying dramatically. In one study published by the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, researchers found that magnesium absorption could be reduced when taken alongside large mixed meals due to delayed stomach processing and competition with other nutrients. Instead of moving smoothly through the digestive tract, magnesium becomes trapped in the traffic jam of digestion, unable to pass through the intestinal gates at the optimal time. But digestion is not the only timing factor. Hormones also play a role. Cortisol, the body's stress hormone, rises naturally in the morning to wake you up. Studies show that high cortisol states can alter electrolyte balance and affect magnesium transport. Meanwhile, melatonin, the hormone of calm and darkness, increases in the evening, and researchers have discovered that melatonin interacts with magnesium in fascinating ways, enhancing relaxation pathways that help prepare the brain for rest. This is why many people intuitively prefer magnesium glycinate in the evening, not because they were taught to, but because their bodies subtly respond better during quieter, calmer hours when cortisol drops and magnesium can move freely through cellular receptors. And then we confront the caffeine factor, a timing trap that millions fall into every morning. People wake up, grab their magnesium and chase it with coffee, but caffeine increases gastrointestinal motility and triggers diuresis, meaning the kidneys begin excreting water and minerals almost immediately. A study from the Journal of Nutrition found that caffeine consumption can increase urinary magnesium loss by up to 26%. That means the timing of that morning cup doesn't just reduce absorption, it may actually accelerate elimination. The magnesium never even has a chance, the window closes. And people are left wondering why they feel no difference after weeks or months of supplementation. Then comes the issue of mineral competition. Calcium, zinc, and iron all share overlapping absorption pathways with magnesium. When taken too closely together, they compete for the same transport proteins, much like trying to board the same train with hundreds of other passengers fighting for a limited number of seats. Research from the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition highlights that minerals taken simultaneously can inhibit one another's absorption, proving that timing is not simply about the hour you take magnesium, it's about what else you take before or after it. This is where the story becomes even more compelling, because once you understand these timing dynamics, you begin to see why so many people say they don't feel their magnesium. They aren't timing it incorrectly because they're careless, they're timing it incorrectly because no one ever told them how the body works. No one explained that magnesium glycinate, one of the most absorbable and calming forms, performs best when taken during moments when the digestive system is not overwhelmed, when competing nutrients are not flooding the gut, and when cortisol is not spiking. People aren't failing their supplements are simply not being given the right biological environment to succeed. And when magnesium isn't absorbed, the consequences ripple through the body. Muscles stay tense, nerves remain overstimulated, sleep becomes shallow and unrewarding, stress feels heavier, the heartbeat becomes more reactive. The mind feels as though it is constantly running, constantly scanning, constantly unable to power down. Research shows that even mild magnesium insufficiency can affect neuromuscular function, blood pressure regulation, and stress resilience. Yet people often overlook these symptoms because they develop gradually, subtly, almost silently. They assume the supplement isn't strong enough or their body isn't responsive enough. The truth is far simpler, the body just needs better timing. When magnesium glycinate is taken during a period when the digestive system is relatively calm, absorption improves. When it's not swallowed directly with coffee or caffeine, loss decreases. When it's not paired with large doses of competing minerals, its passage into the bloodstream becomes far more efficient. And when taken during times of lower cortisol or higher melatonin, the body utilizes it in ways that promote deep relaxation, steady mood, and restorative sleep. These aren't claims, they're patterns observed in physiological studies on mineral absorption, stress hormones, and circadian timing. What makes this discovery so empowering is that it gives people a sense of control. Magnesium is one of the most influential minerals for human health, but it is also one of the most chronically underabsorbed. Yet the solution doesn't require extreme changes. It doesn't require taking more. It doesn't require stronger doses. It simply requires understanding the body's rhythm, understanding the invisible clocks that determine how well nutrients move, how well minerals transport, and how well each system cooperates with the next. The moment someone changes the timing of their magnesium, everything can shift. Sleep becomes deeper, muscles feel looser, stress feels lighter. The mind enters a calmer, slower space, not because the supplement changed, but because the body was finally given the opportunity to receive it. And the difference between absorption and non-absorption is often nothing more than a few minutes, a small decision, a shift in routine that can transform the mineral from ineffective to indispensable. This is why timing matters. This is why the human body responds so profoundly when it is honored, understood, and worked with instead of against. And this is why the simple act of choosing when to take magnesium can unlock the benefits people have been searching for all along. For years, people have turned to magnesium supplements hoping for better sleep, calmer nerves, and deeper relaxation, but the story of magnesium begins long before capsules and bottles. It begins in the soil, in the roots of plants, in the food that once nourished humans long before deficiency became a global epidemic. Today, nearly half the population does not meet the recommended magnesium intake, according to data from the World Health Organization, and the consequences reach into every system of the body. Yet nature still provides magnesium in its purest, most bioavailable form, food, and the shocking truth is that most people walk past these natural sources every day without ever realizing they hold the key to restoring balance in their lives. Spinach, with its deep emerald leaves, is one of the richest natural reservoirs of magnesium. 1 cup of cooked spinach can deliver almost 40% of the daily magnesium requirement. But the connection goes far deeper. For decades, scientists have studied chlorophyll, the pigment that gives plants their green color, and discovered something astonishing. The central atom in chlorophyll is magnesium. That means every vibrant green leaf is literally built around this mineral. When you eat leafy greens, you are consuming the molecular backbone of plant life, and your cells respond instantly. Studies show that plant-based magnesium is highly bioavailable, meaning the body absorbs it with remarkable efficiency. It flows into the bloodstream not as a foreign substance but as a natural nutrient, familiar and easily recognized. Pumpkin seeds, small and unassuming, are another powerhouse. Just a handful can supply nearly half a day's worth of magnesium. Researchers have found that people who regularly consume magnesium-rich seeds experience better blood sugar control, healthier blood pressure levels, and improved metabolic function. In cultures where seeds and nuts are dietary staples, magnesium deficiency rates are dramatically lower. Yet in modern diets, these foods are often replaced by processed snacks stripped of minerals, leaving the body depleted and craving what nature once gave abundantly. Almonds and cashews bring not only magnesium but healthy fats that support nerve function and brain health. There is a reason people feel calmer after eating nuts. Magnesium interacts with receptors in the brain responsible for regulating stress and mood, and studies show that adequate magnesium levels can help reduce feelings of anxiety and promote emotional balance. When magnesium is paired with the natural fats in nuts, its absorption improves and its calming effects are amplified. This is food functioning not as entertainment, but as chemistry, living chemistry that helps stabilize the nervous system. Black beans, often overlooked, carry one of the highest concentrations of magnesium found in plant foods. In many traditional societies, beans were a daily staple, and magnesium deficiency was rare. Researchers now understand why. Magnesium helps regulate glucose transport and insulin activity, and regular consumption of beans has been linked to reduced risk of metabolic disorders. When people add beans to their meals, digestion slows in a healthy way, blood sugar stabilizes, and magnesium intake rises naturally. But in modern diets dominated by refined carbs and fast food, these benefits vanish, leaving the body in a constant tug-of-war between stress, inflammation, and deficiency. Avocados, creamy and rich, bring together magnesium, potassium, and monounsaturated fats in one perfect package. These nutrients work synergistically to support nerve conduction, muscle relaxation, and cardiovascular health. Scientists have found that people who consume avocados regularly tend to have healthier overall nutrient profiles, including higher magnesium levels. The fruit doesn't just nourish, it restores. Its magnesium content helps relax blood vessels, its fats support hormonal balance, and its antioxidants help reduce cellular stress. This is why adding just half an avocado to a meal can shift the body's internal chemistry toward calm and stability. And then, unexpected but true, comes dark chocolate. Real chocolate, not the sugary commercial kind, contains substantial magnesium, and studies show that dark chocolate can positively affect stress levels by influencing the brain's limbic system, the region responsible for emotional regulation. The magnesium in dark chocolate supports neurotransmitter balance, while its natural plant compounds, called flavonoids, improve blood flow to the brain. Perhaps this is why people instinctively reach for chocolate during stressful moments. The body remembers what the mind forgets. Chocolate is not merely a comfort food, it is a mineral-rich plant product evolution designed to soothe. The tragedy, however, is that modern souls contain far less magnesium than they once did. Decades of industrial agriculture have depleted the earth, leaving fruits and vegetables with lower mineral content than their ancestors. This means even the healthiest diets can fall short. Researchers from multiple agricultural studies estimate that magnesium levels in produce have dropped by as much as 20 to 30% over the last century. This is not just a nutritional decline, it is a silent shift that affects the health of entire populations. Yet even with these reductions, whole foods remain one of the most powerful sources of magnesium available. When people begin incorporating magnesium-rich foods into their daily lives, something remarkable happens. The body doesn't just absorb the mineral, it recognizes it. It uses it to restore processes that have been struggling, sometimes for years. Cramping muscles begin to ease, the mind settles, energy steadies, sleep deepens, stress becomes less overwhelming. These changes are not dramatic explosions but gentle corrections, the body returning to a state it remembers but hasn't felt in a long time. Imagine starting the day with a smoothie packed with spinach and avocado, or sprinkling pumpkin seeds over a salad. Imagine replacing an afternoon sugary snack with a handful of almonds or cashews, foods that calm rather than inflame. Imagine ending the night with a small square of dark chocolate, not as indulgence but as nourishment. These choices are small, effortless, but their impact is profound. They transform magnesium from an occasional supplement into a living part of your daily rhythm. This is how magnesium was always meant to be consumed, not as an isolated capsule, but as a gift embedded in the food's nature designed for human health. When we return to these foods, we don't just correct deficiency. We reconnect with the biological patterns that shaped human physiology for thousands of years, and in that reconnection lies the power to rebuild, restore, and rebalance the body from the inside out using the foods that have been waiting all along. My friends, magnesium glycinate is one of the most powerful and calming supplements out there, but only when you use it the right way. Avoid mixing it with the things that block absorption and bring more magnesium-rich foods into your daily life. Your muscles, your nerves, your sleep, and your mind will thank you.